Hi guys, and welcome to Petrolheads London and this week's 5 at 5. If you've not watched one of these before, my name is Tom and this is my channel, Petrolheads London. I usually do a bit of a roundup of some of the stuff that's been going on in the car, motorbike scene, and perhaps a little bit around some of the videos that I've been putting out of late. So, if you haven't watched one, or if you have actually, the one thing you will know is if you give the first comment below this video, you get a shout out on next week's video. Now, there's been a bit of a battle for this over the last few weeks. I'm pleased to say we've beaten Malcolm to being the first comment. So well done, Edward Van. Once again, you are first to comment. So thank you for that. So remember guys, get in the comments below, see who's going to be first. You'll get a shout out on next week's video. But also, questions. I want to hear what you guys have got to say and what you'd like to know around stuff from Petrolheads London. So remember to get in the comments there. So today is quite motorbike heavy. I haven't actually seen an awful lot going on in the car side of things in the last sort of week or so. So I've kind of struggled to find a few things to put into this week's 5 at 5. But MotoGP over the last few weeks just keeps giving in terms of information. So look, a few weeks ago, obviously, we had that incident with grabbing the brake of the opponent and at 140 miles an hour, which actually, as I said, made kind of like national news in the UK. This week was Aragon. And do you know the one thing we saw is something, well, there's lots that went on, but one thing that kind of reaffirmed my belief in the fact that there are great sportsmen in MotoGP. So actually what we saw, and I'll try and get, is Jack, I think it's Millerus, basically saw that one of the guys on the track had stalled his bike, couldn't get it going. So he pushed, I think he's called Mavic, all the way back to the pits so he could continue on and get his bike sorted, which was amazing bit of sportsmanship to kind of stop and do that. I think it was only in one of the practice runs. I haven't been able to get all the details of it, but I just saw it posted on social media. So if you know more than me, correct me down below. But needless to say, good sportsmanship. Yeah, so it was the Yamaha that basically broke at Aragon. So anyway, he got back to the pit so he could sort it out. So Marquez won. Now, if you have not seen this, there was some phenomenal overtakes, including one where he kind of went round the inside between three of them. Go and look it up. It's on the MotoGP website. It was just a phenomenal piece of riding. I think the whole Aragon GP was amazing. I'm catching up with a friend next week who actually went, so I'd really like to hear what he thinks around being there face to face with it. However, the downside of that was Lorenzo, I think it was like literally off the start, had a massive slide and then high-sided out, breaking his foot. I'm seeing some contradictory things on social media around him blaming other people for it, but I think he's kind of got over that and quite often a bit of a fiery character, but not a good race for him, obviously. I think he's broken his foot in several places, which sounds a bit uncomfortable, but I think he was also lucky not to take out several other bikers while he was there. So, yes, MotoGP has given us a lot this week to talk about, and, well, it just only seems to get better week on week. I don't always get a chance to watch all of the races all the way through, but I'm interested to hear what you guys think about the balance on this channel as well. I've been doing a lot of stuff on bikes, and I'd quite like to do a bit more of a balanced view on cars and bikes, so we'll try and get that through in the following 5 at 5s. Finally, the only thing to talk about a little bit, which I touched at on last week's video, is officially the BMW GS1250R, I think is the official term, has now been released, and you know the sort of information has been proliferated out. I've seen a bit of it. In terms of design, you can definitely see it kind of looks almost like that sort of like raised and poised front like you get in the F800s that they were bringing out. I just think looks a little bit different to kind of the current GS. Now look, this has been a successful formula for them since I think late 80s, and I may be wrong on that. But even so, it's been a really successful bike, and it's not really changed, I don't think, dramatically. I think this feels like a really big change for them. And actually what I did notice is on the one that they've been using on their promo stuff has a lot of HP branding on it. So has some really cool details around kind of BMW logos on the brake levers and stuff like that. So to me looks really, really good. And I can't wait to try and get my hands on one of those and do a proper road test. For me, it's a bike that I've always loved. If I had space for more than one bike and I had time to ride more often, I would definitely have one of those back in my garage. Anyway, that's all from today's 5 at 5 on Petrolheads London. I am actually off-roading again this week. So what I would like to know in the comments is, so I'm motorcycle off-roading. What would you like to see? How would you like me to present that? Do you just want to see me off-roading? Do you want me to talk to you about it? Do you want me to talk to you about how you set it all up and how you go off and kind of what a day's like? Really keen to hear your comments. But that remains for me to say goodbye. Thank you for watching Petrolheads London. Take care. Cheers.